temperatures have been flirting with 100 degrees all weekend. The heat index has been much higher. A summer storm threatened a few hours ago, but now the real thunder begins. It's truck racing at Memphis tonight. The setup is all shook up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Setup. I'm Krista Voda. Memphis, the birthplace of rock and roll, is a city that always has a rapid pulse. But tonight, that beat is stronger than ever because the biggest stories, the stories in NASCAR you followed all week, well, they are not in Loudon, New Hampshire. They are right here in Memphis. Like the guy who won the race but didn't get to take the checkered flag, well, you are going to hear from him. But first, a much bigger story. Ray Dunlap has been following it. He is on pit road. Ray, the hammer dropped, and it dropped heavy for one of our drivers.
Well, it really did, Krista. You know, just a few weeks ago, we celebrated our 300th race in this series, and there had never been a driver suspended until now. Ted Musgrave normally drives this number 9 ASE Toyota Tundra, but tonight, here in Memphis, he will not be behind the wheel. Ted Musgrave was suspended for on-track activities last week at Milwaukee.
Lap-down trucks had to start on the inside, and that's the preferred line, so you're going to see a lot of cluster here at the beginning of this restart.
That's why in a lot of cases they say cautions breed cautions.
Oh, Rollins into the wall hard is Kelly Byers and the 9 of Ted Musgrave. A little bit of anger now, I believe.
It's so frustrating for Ted Musgrave because that 21 truck is a lap down, and I'm sure Ted is looking at him in the mirror and completely blaming the 21. NASCAR has told the 9 of Ted Musgrave to pull that truck behind the wall and just park it.
We're done for the night, and that's just the way it is. But it's a shame that, you know, rookies just do that kind of stuff. You know, I just wish the lap trucks would be a little bit more careful.
And as we said, this is the first time it has ever happened in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Now, Ted left Milwaukee and went to Texas to watch his daughter Brittany compete in a painted horse competition. He has left Texas and gone back to Mooresville, North Carolina. I called him this afternoon to ask him what he's going to do tonight. He said, might work in my shop. I might watch the race.
All right, thanks, Ray. And we do want to point out that other drivers have missed races, have been suspended for off-track penalties, but not since 2003 has any NASCAR driver had to sit out a race for what he did on the track. Now, we do want to continue dissecting the story by bringing in the guys upstairs. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, they're going to be calling the race. And Rick and Phil, let's get your thoughts on this story.
Well, I'm going to defer, obviously, to our driver here. You've been involved in, I'm sure, a lot of on-race incidents, but does this punishment fit the violation?
Rick, I think in this case it does. I spoke to NASCAR earlier this week, and they said it wasn't the initial accident with Ted Musgrave that caused his suspension. It was what happened in the aftermath of the accident. Let's take a look back at what happened. There's the initial contact right there. The 21 was a lap down. He got a little bit loose. But listen, this is what NASCAR caused Ted to be suspended by. Watch, listen to this. NASCAR said that they didn't have any idea how badly Kelly Byers may have been injured, so they were not able to move the safety equipment because Ted was using his truck as a battering ram to retaliate against Kelly Byers, and they felt like that was something they needed to address. They suspended Ted for one race. They fined him 50 points and $10,000, and really the penalty is going to be even more far-reaching than that because there's a potential of 195 points available here to the guy that leads the most laps and possibly wins the race. A minimum of 55 points. He's not going to be able to get any of those points. He will probably drop out of the top 10.
And that was a very difficult night, obviously, for Ted Musgrave. The very next day in Milwaukee, Aric Almirola had what can be considered probably his best day.
We're underway at Milwaukee, and Aric Almirola, who is not supposed to be in the driver's seat, gets a great start into turn 1.
Aric already had the window net down as he pulled in. Now he will jump out of the car real quickly.
Denny Hamlin has now gotten aboard the Rockwell Automation Chevrolet.
Aric Almirola's been running great. I don't like this. This whole thing is real tough to me.
Denny Hamlin off turn number 4, putting the exclamation point on a dominating performance in the NASCAR Busch Series. Denny Hamlin takes the checkered flag of the AT&T 250.
Aric, this is your race car, man. I appreciate everything you did.
Well, I said it was going to be his best day, but it ended up not probably being his best day.
Well, in the record books, it's going to show a victory, and he was bitterly disappointed by having to get out of that car. But, you know, that was the whole idea the whole time. Denny Hamlin flew 2,000 miles from Infineon Raceway to drive that Rockwell Automation car in Milwaukee, which is where their headquarters are. So that was the original intent. Aric was only there to do practice and qualify the car. He thought he was going to get a bonus and get to race it. Unfortunately, he didn't get to finish the race, but he is going to be credited with a victory.
He got the start, but he's here now with us. We go down to Aric Almirola.
And thank you, Rick. Of course, the situations of a week ago, very well documented. So, Eric, you've had a chance to digest what happened last Saturday night. Your thoughts as we get set to go green on that here this evening?
Well, I'm really proud of all the guys on the Rockwell Nation team. What they accomplished last weekend kind of went unnoticed between all the press and everything about me and Denny and Joe Gibbs Racing. So the guys on the team won that race. I mean, that's pretty a good accomplishment for them to win the race with two different drivers. So I think a lot of the limelight got stolen away from them, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for what they did last weekend. And man, I'm just excited to be back in Memphis, and this is where my career started in Truck Series 2 years ago. So just proud to be back here. I want to thank FedEx and everybody that's been just really, really supportive of my career and every time I show up here in Memphis.
Eric Almirola starts 18th here tonight. And, of course, last week he went to victory lane. It was his first career win in the NASCAR Busch Series. On Friday evening, Johnny Benson won in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And for JB, it was win number 2 in a row at Milwaukee.
Johnny Benson wins the Toyota Tundra 200.
It's Johnny Benson leading the field to the checkered flag. And the celebration begins for the 23 team of Johnny Benson.
Well, not only did Johnny Benson benefit from the win last week, he also gets some help from Ted Musgrave. These are the Ford point standings before Musgrave's 50-point penalty. Musgrave was 6th. How do they look now? Well, Benson inherits the 6th position. Musgrave falls to 7th. And don't forget, Musgrave will drop like a rock after this race. Sitting out means no points. He could drop out of the top 10. Meanwhile, Mike Skinner continues to lead. Well, every race is a big one. There's last week's winner, Johnny Benson, but this one comes with a milestone attached to it. It's been 10 years, a decade of truck racing in Memphis. So many moments more will be made tonight.
Coming up in the setup, in this week's Ray Report, we spend a little time bowling with the Truck Series drivers, and we meet a local celebrity. We also take a look at the state of Bobby Hamilton racing and spend a little time with Laurie Hamilton on the set.
I joked and said it took 5 people to replace him, but it really truly does.
Stay tuned for all that and much more, only on The Setup.
The NASCAR
Craftsman Truck Series setup is brought to you by Fram. It's not just an oil change, it's a Fram oil change.
Welcome back to Memphis Motorsports Park. Pre-race ceremonies continuing. You know, Rick Crawford and Terry Cook are the only drivers who have competed in all of the past Memphis races. Neither has won here, but Crawford is an Elvis fan. No blue suede shoes needed, only a red hot truck. And did you know also...
There's one guy that's walking around trying to hand out pointers. I don't know. I have no clue who this guy is. And, looks like he's straight from 75 or something. But checking it out. Checking it out. What up, fellas? Hey, man. Check it out. 300. Here we come. Woo. I see some similarities, but I see some differences.
Mine's just a little shinier than that.
Your lanes are now ready. Good luck and good bowling.
I mean, if I'm going to give you pointers, I want you to pay attention because this is my place. What it is it's mental vibration. It's positive reinforcement. If you're looking over at the bumper or you're looking over at the side, you got nothing. And right in the middle, baby. Right down the middle. Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby. And, you know, the bottom line is it's all about the form, baby. I don't even know who that guy was. He looked a little bit like me, but, you know, we were just playing characters there. But there's a guy tonight who's playing a character. He's the pole sitter, and I believe he's standing by with Adam.
And the story has been well documented throughout our day. Brad Keselowski, fastest in practice here yesterday, winning the pole earlier today. How confident are you as we get set to go racing, Brad?
Oh, man, I don't know. I think we just play it by ear. I really try not to think about it, to be honest. Hold our line and run the bottom and run it hard, and that's what we're going to do all day.
Have you met your expectations for the weekend? A lot of pressure here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure. You know, I didn't even put any expectations on it. I just wanted to come out here and have fun and do the best I could for the Germain family and their sponsor, Team ASC, and so far that's been working out really well. So if we just stay cool-headed here, I think we'll have a good day.
42nd career start for Brad Keselowski, and Ray, he's on the pole tonight at Memphis.
Well, and that's a really big deal, Brad Keselowski being on the pole, and his teammate will start 9th tonight. Now, yesterday in final practice, I heard you say this truck's not quite right. Is it now?
I don't know. It's hard to say in 2 laps. The guys did a great job. They changed just about everything. Probably should have changed the driver. That might have helped, but it was a lot better in qualifying. We really been struggling. I don't know why. We went really close to what Brad has in his truck, and very proud of that team, the whole 9 bunch, and Brad did a great job, and hopefully we got something for him.
Okay. Have a good night tonight. That is the Onion. Todd Bodine will roll off his Lumber Liquidators number 30 from position number 9.
All right, thanks, Ray. Yeah, that guy in that piece really looked like Ray. I'm not sure. You know, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But here in Memphis, no winner has started worse than 5th. Will that streak be broken tonight? The setup is just getting started, and when we return, a story and a guest you won't want to miss. Trucks in Memphis, just moments away. Welcome back to the setup. Memphis Motorsports Park is the track of champions. 7 of the 9 races here have been won by a former champ, including 3-time champion Jack Sprague, who's won here twice. And yes, that also happened. One of his wins was last year. So what makes Memphis so tough? Well, a lot of the drivers have told me it's a short track that thinks it's much bigger. Taking a look at tonight's Framit track description, Memphis has some banking to its turns. 11 degrees, meaning the drivers can carry some speed through here, but obstacles like a bump on the backstretch, the close walls out of turn 4 provide extra hurdles. It's a track that rewards experience. Ray is standing by with one of the drivers to keep an eye on tonight.
Well, anytime you come to Memphis, you got to talk about Ron Hornaday. Ron, you had a win here, one of the great races, and you had one that got away from you here at this track.
You try to forget about them, but definitely Rick Wren and all the guys done a great job in his Camping World Chevrolet. And air pressures are going to be down, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on the first 10 laps.
What's the key to winning at this racetrack?
Just pit strategy, I think. I mean, I don't think you can go the whole race on a set of these tires. Goodyear bought a tire where we're going to have to try to save them, and I know Rick Wren and the guys are going to let the air pressure down, and hopefully we don't fall back too far. So we'll do our best and see what we can do with the Camping World Chevrolet.
Okay, Ron Hornaday starts second tonight, and Adams with a guy who's going to be much deeper in the field.
Indeed the case, Ray. Jack Sprague starts 13th here this evening, the only two-time winner here at Memphis. What's the biggest challenge you face getting to the front from 13th, Jack?
Just try not to get tore up. I mean, the Conway Freight Toyota is great. It was great last night. Just got a little loose qualifying, and really shocked that we're back that far, but we are. But again, I had a great truck last night. Good pit stops, and I think this place gets so tight that I think after 15, 20 laps, my truck will shine, and that's what I'm counting on. That's what I'm hoping for. But you know, good pit strategy, good pit stops, and fast trucks, and we can get there again.
And Christopher Jack Sprague, it's his first start outside the top 5 at Memphis since 1998.
All right, thanks, Adam. Jack Sprague, a veteran, but a lot of young guys starting up front tonight, including the pole sitter, Brad Keselowski. Will it be a rookie's turn? We're getting close. The setup continues right after this.
Bobby Hamilton celebrating.
The burnout begins on the front stretch.
That race was won by years and years of experience.
The year was 2004. That was Bobby Hamilton's second of what would be 4 wins that year, the year he went on to win the championship. Well, welcome back. Today is a very special day, not just here at the racetrack, not just in Memphis, but across the entire state. The governor of Tennessee declared today, June 30th, Bobby Hamilton Day, a day designated to honor a Tennessee native and a champion. And you know, the folks here at Memphis Motorsports Park on Friday wanted to make sure that Bobby Hamilton's name would forever be a part of this racetrack, unveiling a new street name on the track's property, Bobby Hamilton Boulevard. It's only appropriate that race fans and track workers turn onto Bobby Hamilton Boulevard from a road called Victory Lane outside of the track. And when I made the turn for the first time yesterday, I couldn't help but smile seeing Bobby's name above me. Well, it's been almost 6 months since Bobby Hamilton lost his fight with cancer, but his legacy, his lessons continue to be felt every day, and nowhere more so than at his race shop. The day-to-day operations now fall on the shoulders of his widow, Lori, and the men and women who continue to work in his honor.
Bobby was famous. When he walked out into the shop, he was pulled in so many different directions that he would just sit down in the middle of the floor, and they would line up to him. In order to reserve that spot for Bobby, we put the BHR Continuous Dream logo on the floor. And ironically, we did it during the day. We got ready to leave that night. Kip put it on the floor, and we shut off the lights. And it, ironically, was put underneath a safety light that stays on all the time. You know, our guys never stopped. Bobby died on Sunday. We showed up here at 8 o'clock and talked to him and said, this is the plan of place.
As soon as we laid him to rest, many of them then took off for the testing for the next race.
Left the funeral home, came back, and went to work.
You know, they just didn't slow down.
This team is an active team and never took a day off to grieve.
And you know what? Bobby wouldn't have wanted them to.
Don't mourn for me, go out there and work for me.
I feel that everybody put their arms around each other, if you will.
I think the pain turned into motivation.
This is the best I've seen the guys work together since I've been here.
How much was the 4 of them on the right rear?
Hey, right where I'm at right now. Used to be, say it was the 18 team and the 4 team, but right now I consider it 1 team with 2 trucks.
All right, it's time to go. Just start to come down on it. And then you go a little bit, and then you go, you gotta check up a little bit. I mean, you're just playing with it. You're just playing with it.
I think Schrader's helped a lot. I don't think there's anybody I can ask for that'll give you more than 110% when he gets behind the wheel.
It takes a lot of courage to try to continue on something with someone's name across the door that isn't here anymore because you hope you're living up to their expectations.
It's a struggle sometimes. Our leader is not here, and our friend is not here. And you know, there are certain places that we go to that are hard to walk into. They're hard to see. You know, Atlanta was very emotional for all of us. I mean, who can forget Bobby winning the race and Skinner spinning sideways across the grass? What a finish! Daytona, who can forget Bobby's win there? Bobby Hamilton makes the pass. They don't. Sure, there are moments you walk around and you see something or you hear something and it makes you think of Bobby. Bobby always hated that when people walk up and be like, can I get your autograph? And pull it out. I'm not touching it out of your mouth. It's like old times. We laugh and cut up, and it's just a grieving process in different ways.
We're getting better every week. Flat, he's getting faster right there.
Competition is a challenge, and this sport is all the time you have to keep up with it.
It's just that if you get off course just a small amount in this business, it takes time to recover, and we're just trying to recover right now.
And we are honored to have Bobby's wife, Lori Hamilton, join us. Lori, in that piece, and I've seen that a number of times, and it still gives me chills. You said that going to the track without Bobby for the first time is hard. Tributes like what they're doing at Memphis today, what you've already partaken in, does it help the grieving process at all?
You know, anytime that people want to
do something to honor Bobby, it's great for all of us because every day we live our lives trying to do something more for him because he did so much for us. So anytime we come to a track and they make a big deal about him, I mean, he's a big deal to us too. So to be able to have that, it helps us just, have a feel-good feeling before each race.
Well, talk about the state of BHR. What's happening at Bobby Hamilton Racing right now?
Well, Krista, it took us a while to get our feet back on the ground. I mean, Bobby Hamilton wore so many hats, and we lost that. And so, and for a while we had to really sit back and cry. I mean, it was sad. So, and we still do that all the time, but we lean on each other, and we really have become a family that it's great. There are certain people in the shop that we go to and that we ask for certain things, and everybody's chipped in. It's as one. It's good when we have a problem with one of the trucks wrecking in practice, then the other team comes over without even being asked. So that's something that Bobby always strive for, to have at BHR, and we're honored to be able to do that.
Well, we're honored to have you on the set with us. Thank you for coming by. And it's not every day that you meet someone who makes you a better person, and Bobby certainly did that for all of us.
For all of us.
Thank you very much. And of course, it is Bobby Hamilton Day. It's not just the honor of the street. Every truck on the track tonight has a sticker honoring Bobby Hamilton, and all of the team members of BHR serving as grand marshals tonight. Also, something very cool, Slim, the truck that Bobby Hamilton won here in 2004. It's on the track tonight with Ken Schrader behind the wheel. All of the drivers have said it would be a special to win the race that's in his memory. The Truck Series takes a breather next week to celebrate our country's birthday. Rick, Phil, Ray, and Adam will be lakeside with fireworks. That's scary, but we will all be back the following week to bring you more of NASCAR's toughest series, this time Kentucky style, Saturday, July 14th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, since we are off on the 4th of July, we want to take this opportunity to thank all of our U.S. servicemen and women, our unwavering gratitude. Tonight, our unwavering anticipation for this race. Remember the big stories. Musgrave is out. Almirola is looking for redemption. Keselowski is on the pole. Every one of these guys not wanting to be the guy singing the blues in Memphis. It's the Truck Series, the O'Reilly 200 on speed, and you have a front row seat. Thanks for watching the setup. Enjoy the race. Truck Series on speed is now.
By inches at the start-finish line, talk about a photo finish.
To begin with, we were promised the pleasure of suspense.
I can't believe I won Daytona, brother.
Over the next 3 races, we learned the definition of dominance.
Skinner came in winner of 2 in a row. He's going for the trifecta. A dominant day at Hartsville.
A pair of young teammates beat the best of them,
The defending Rookie of the Year today becomes a super sophomore.
reaching expectations of success.
Travis Quapple's gonna come home the winner.
And at any given track, champions and veterans present their own ability to command the lead.
Dennis Setzer wins in Mansfield, Ohio, without making a pit stop.
Tonight, the Truck Series tunes up for a short track showdown in the birthplace of rock and roll, Memphis, Tennessee. As the field chases Mike Skinner, who will battle for the lead? Who will be the fastest? Who will celebrate tonight?
Welcome to Memphis Motorsports Park, just north of Memphis, Tennessee, and welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series O'Reilly 200. We're about to get racing underway. Let's go trackside for tonight's invocation and national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present the colors of the United States Navy Recruiting Command Honors Detail Station Naval Support Activity Mid-South Millington, Tennessee. Our invocation this afternoon, the Associate Pastor of the Faith Baptist Church in Bartlett, Tennessee, Mr. Ryan Johnston. Ryan?
If you'll pray with me.
Father, we come before you now asking you to come and be with us today. Lord, we pray that you would be with the drivers and their teams as we race today. Lord, that your hand would be upon them and your favor would be with them today. And Lord, we pray that you would be with our country. Lord, as we're at war, Lord, we pray that you'd be with our troops today. Lord, we pray you'd be with those families of those who have lost family members overseas. Lord, we also pray this morning this evening, Lord, for our president and leaders of our nation, Lord, that you would be with them and give them wisdom today. And Lord, we thank you so much for your grace, Lord, and I thank you for bringing us to this place today, Lord, and we pray you'd be with us, and we pray it in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Well, here at Memphis, you mix with music with motorsports. It's my honor and privilege to present to you with our national anthem here this afternoon, our buddy Neil McCoy. And I got to say something about Neil with Shake and many other hits. They're singers and they're entertainers. This guy does it both. Ladies and gentlemen, with our national anthem with a post-race concert afterwards, Mr. Neil McCoy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A great crowd that has braved the elements today. Thunderstorms were in the area no longer. Now, all the excitement will take place on the track when we come back for the O'Reilly 200.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is brought to you by the official tools of NASCAR, Craftsman. Brought to you in part by Fastenal, we get it right. And by Toyota, moving forward.
Welcome back under the lights at Memphis Motorsports Park. Earlier today, we were a little bit worried we weren't going to get qualifying in as thunderstorms were in the area. Temperatures dropped to 75 degrees. They say it's a 30% chance of rain, but I wouldn't see that before the end of this race. Let's look at our Ford point standings through 11 events. Mike Skinner dominating, Ron Hornaday holding on to second, Todd Bodine is third, Quapple fourth, and rounding out the top five, Rick Crawford. All have been very consistent this year, but the one who's been dominant on the racetrack has been Mike Skinner. Now, we come to a racetrack like Memphis Motorsports Park, and Phil, what makes this so veteran-dominated as far as the configuration of this track?
Well, I don't know. 7 of our 9 winners here at Memphis have been former champions in the series. But 2 years ago, Brandon Witt was able to follow Ron Hornaday. He was running second. Very late in the race, Ron Hornaday slowed because the truck had spun on the front stretch. And Brandon Witt actually made a little contact with Ron Hornaday, went on past him to win that race. So it can be done. We've got some great young drivers starting up front. Obviously, Brad Keselowski in the front row on the pole. So he has a shot at it, as well as some other young drivers. So we could see somebody that's not a veteran take the win, but it does, for whatever reason, really favor veteran drivers.
And other thing is we haven't had anybody win from outside the top 5 at this racetrack. So is passing that difficult here?
Well, I was talking to some of the crew chiefs in the garage area, and they really feel like if you put tires on late, that you could pass here. But on equal tires, it may be difficult. But here you see her at Memphis Motorsports Park, 3/4 of a mile. Their corners say 11 degrees, but they really make more than Martinsville, which says they're 12 degrees. But, you know, good side-by-side racing here at Memphis. It's a little bit difficult to get on the outside and pass somebody, but you can see the straightaways are about 1,100 feet each. The straightaways are banked at 4 degrees.
36 trucks are going to be starting this race. It's 200 laps. It's a 3/4 mile racetrack, so that means it's 150 miles. The purse just over $500,000. Who's going to win it? Well, we need to start the engines first. Let's go for the command.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flory Hamilton entire Bobby Hamilton crew here at the Memphis Motorsports Park for those most famous words in motorsport.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
The engines are fired. Guess what? Brad Keselowski is going to take the green flag as the pole sitter for the first time in his career. 3 times before, it's been won from the pole. Can he do it tonight? "36 trucks all in a line to start tonight's race." You'll see the starting grid rolling along the bottom for the O'Reilly 200. Again, Brad Keselowski with his first career pole coming here at Memphis Motorsports Park. We're going to shine a spotlight on a few different drivers as we race under the lights tonight. Our first spotlight will be given to us by Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. I'd like to spotlight 24-year-old Bradley Riethmeyer. You know, he's from Hutto, Texas, but he's been spending most of his time at the team shop in Indianapolis, Indiana. And tonight, they're featuring Blackwater USA as their sponsor. Now, their newest product from Blackwater is called the Grizzly Armored Vehicle, and it's designed to protect soldiers from roadside bombs. Making his second start tonight is Bradley Riethmeyer, and his objective is simple. He wants to run 200 laps. Adam?
It's appropriate, Ray, since we're in the volunteer state, that in our speed spotlight we feature a driver from Tennessee, and that would be Willie Allen, the guy you see on screen now. Earlier today, he recorded his best ever qualifying run of 4th in Truck Series competition. As we said, a Tennessee native who flew to Nashville directly from Milwaukee last week so he could spend some time with his family earlier this week. And tonight he makes his first Truck Series start here at Milwaukee, trying to capture his first top 10 of 2007. Phil?
Adam, I want to take a look at the number 21 truck of Kevin Wood. This is his first ever Craftsman Truck Series start. He's going to start in the 19th position. Ravenswood Wines is on board, and you may recognize that last name Wood because he is the son of Len Wood, one of the Wood brothers that own Wood Brothers JTG Racing. Done a couple of years of late model racing up at the Motor Mile in Radford, Virginia, and hopes to run a few more truck races later on this year. First ever start for Kevin Wood in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Ray?
Actually, I'm going to grab it if you wouldn't mind.
Rick, I'm sorry.
I'm going to look at that pole sitter up there and shine our spotlight on Brad Keselowski, this 24-year-old out of Rochester Hills, Michigan, in just his 42nd start. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series grabbed his first ever pole. Now he's looking for a better finish than his career best 7th at Daytona. And obviously starting up front at Memphis Motorsports Park is a very good start. We're going to ride along with a few different drivers, one of those being the pilot of the Bobby Hamilton Racing number 18, and that's Ken Schrader. He'll start in the 29th position.
Let's take a look at Rick Crawford. He's in the Harley-Davidson onboard camera, driving the Power Stroke Diesel Ford out of the Circle Bar stables. Got a teammate, David Starr, that'll start 3 spots in front of him in 14th. Rick Crawford in the number 14.
Jack Sprague will start in the 13th position. Aaron Fike will be starting 8th. We'll ride along with him as well in that number 1.
Ron Hornaday will start on the outside of the front row. Tremendous amount of experience here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Got Brad Keselowski, first time ever start in the front row, right beside him.
And Ron Hornaday, what a difficult situation he had 2 years ago when it looked obvious that he was going to win this race. Jimmy Spencer spins in turn 3 and 4. That smoke goes flowing around, and he gets spun around and doesn't win that race. Well, before we talk more about that, let's go down Thoughts Before Green with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, you know, when we start talking about winners here at Memphis, you got to add Jack Sprague to that list. He's won twice here. Actually, he's the only driver who has ever done that. But I want to look at the numbers. Jack Sprague has 28 career victories. And when you look at the winning that he's done most of it from starting up front. 8 times he's won from the pole, including his last 3 victories in this series. And you'll notice he has never won from any deeper than qualifying 12. Guess what? Tonight, Jack Sprague rolls off at Memphis, starting 13th. Adam?
Thank you, Ray. And when you talk about the Memphis Motorsports Park, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is coming here for the 10th time tonight. In the previous 9 visits, no one has ever won this race starting outside the top 5. So it's interesting to note some drivers who are in the top 5 at the start of tonight's race. Guys like Brad Keselowski, Bill Lester, and Willie Allen, all guys who have never gone to victory lane in the Truck Series. And then you look at guys who aren't starting in the top 5. Todd Bodine, Travis Kvapil, and Jack Sprague. They've got some ground to make up. So perhaps we'll see history here this evening, and it's all about to unfold. The green flag set to go in the air in Memphis. Let's go back upstairs to Rick Allen and Phil Parsons.
Thank you, Adam. Out of 4, the green flag does fly. The O'Reilly's 200 is underway. Look at Skinner go to the inside right into turn 1.
He wanted to see if Brad Keselowski was paying attention to the inside. He knew he had Ron Hornaday on the outside.
Down the backstretch they go, and Brad Keselowski looking to lead the first lap of 2007, or his 2007 career. So Keselowski is the leader as they go across the start-finish line, but he's got a rearview mirror full of Ron Hornaday Jr.
Yeah, this is no fluke that that number 9 truck is running well. That's obviously a great truck. Ted Musgrave runs extremely well on that truck week after week, and everyone was very, very high on Brad Keselowski. Ted, Todd Bodine, even Mark Martin weighed in and said he thought Brad Keselowski would be an excellent choice to drive that 9 truck.
Side by side for the 4th position, Willie Allen relinquishing it to the 15 of Bill Lester, and now looking on the inside also that South Point Chevrolet of Brendan Gaughan.
You definitely want to be on the inside, especially early on. We heard Ron Hornaday talking about the air pressures being down real low. You want to be on the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe later on when they get the bottom groove slickened up with a little bit of rubber, the outside groove may come in.
Riding along with Aaron Fike as he has the 6 of Travis Kvapil on his outside. Again, just 3 laps into this race, and they are side by side going down the backstretch once again.
See a few sparks. There's a real bad dip getting down in turn number 3. You saw the trucks in front of Aaron Fike spark as they went through that area of the racetrack.
Here's for second. Ron Hornaday looks to the inside of Skinner.
Ron Hornaday right down, glued to the bottom of the racetrack. Definitely the preferred line. They're very even down the backstretch. So let's see what happens when they get down in turn number 3.
Hornaday again working to the inside of the 5 of Skinner. Skinner very close to the wall there as they came out of 4.
And Hornaday very close to Skinner.
And Hornaday's going to take the position away from Mike Skinner.
He just buried it down in the corner.
I tell you what, Phil, this is the Skinner of new. I think Skinner used to race somebody so hard, and would never give up. It looks like that time he said, you know what, this is early in the race. I'm going to let Ron go by. I'll follow him for a while, and then I'll wait for him to make a mistake.
We talk about it week after week after week. It is the new Mike Skinner. Just seems to be so much smarter. Not that he wasn't a smart race car driver. He's won a lot of races in this series, but he just makes the right choices at the right time. It seems like every time.
Rick Crawford trying to get by that.
Whoa, trouble.
Contact made there. They're sideways. Crawford into the wall. We saw him tag the wall there.
Yeah, he and Johnny Benson got together pretty hard there. There's the lot of damage to that 14 truck. Look at the left rear tire down. Caution flag is out on the racetrack. I'm not really sure what precipitated that. We saw Johnny and the 14 of Rick get together, and then into the wall Rick went. Johnny may have cut down that left rear tire, and that may have been what put Rick around.
A lot of damage to the back of that truck. Let's look one more time at what took place.
You see Johnny's going to drive up in the center of the corner. They make a little contact and almost can't get apart. And then the left rear tire was already down just as soon as Johnny made contact with him. It probably ripped the valve stem out of that tire. Right there, bam. That ripped the valve stem out of the tire, and that turned Rick's back of the truck around into the outside wall.
A lot of damage from hitting the wall, and a lot of damage from that tire shredding on the left rear. And so our first caution has come out at Memphis Motorsports Park. Congratulations to Brad Keselowski. That's the most consecutive laps he's ever led in a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. The gutsiest show on television is back. Pink's All Out on July 12th. It's not for the pink slip. They're chasing the green. $10,000 in cold, hard cash. Run fast, run hard with Pink's All Out. Premiering July 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. Rick Crawford coming off of pit road now and back onto the racetrack, and that is the reason why we're under caution. Rick Crawford's damage.
Let's take a look back and see what happened to Rick Crawford. He was racing hard with a 23. The 23 of Johnny Benson pulls up on the inside. They make a little bit of contact, and as soon as they do, the left rear valve stem is torn out of the tire of Rick Crawford. That gets him sideways. He backs into the outside wall. Here's an onboard camera right here. You can hear the tire already flat in just an instant. They only have about 15 pounds of air in that tire, and as soon as that valve stem was torn out, it immediately went down and into the outside wall. Rick went. A lot of drivers doing some evasive driving to try to avoid that incident, but tough break for Rick Crawford.
Didn't look like there was too much other contact that took place there. Adam Alexander.
And Rick Crawford has been in twice already. The first time they changed left side tires, of course, as you guys talked about, it was that left rear tire that went down. The second time they concentrated on the damage. The unfortunate thing, being a 3/4 mile racetrack, there's not a lot of time to work on the truck. So they sent him back out on the racetrack. He caught up with the field and now is prepared to come down for a third time. They're going to concentrate on the rear deck of the truck and also trying to make sure that they are able to get the damage repaired. Unfortunately, they have had some issues. Now they come in, so the crew concentrating, as you can see, on the right rear and the left rear. Now, crew chief Kevin Start on the last time on the radio urging them to make sure they get the spoiler down. They started hammering on it, and Rick immediately said, don't knock the spoiler off. So communication has been good. The gauges are good on the truck. They just want to repair this thing cosmetically, so they've got a chance for a comeback finish here tonight. Ray?
Well, Adam, let's talk about the number 77 South Point Chevrolet of Brendan Gaughan. He qualified 6th tonight and has moved up to 4th. But I'm pretty sure we're at a short track tonight, and I'm pretty sure I just heard Brendan Gaughan say everything is fantastic. And I promise you, I have never heard that on the radio before when Brendan Gaughan is racing at a short track.
Rick, let's see if we can get a hold of Johnny Benson, see what happened. Hey, JB, Phil Parsons, can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, Phil, I got you.
We saw you and Rick get together down there in turn 1 and 2. What happened, JB?
I think we were just both racing pretty hard here, and I don't know if I slid up into him or whatever, but I know we just bumped, and then it's kind of like we hooked, and kind of hate it for both of us to go through that, for sure. I mean, I know it didn't really do a whole lot to ours, but it looked like it kind of cut his start.
Yeah, it looked like it just ripped the valve stem out when you guys made contact, but obviously just a handful of laps into this race. How's the racetrack?
Typical Memphis. It's a little slippery, but you know, hopefully we are able to get up through this stuff and get up to the front with this Toyota. That'd be kind of cool deal.
All right, you had a big week last week at Milwaukee trying to make it 2 in a row. Thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, Bill.
So as they continue to clean the racetrack, we're going to slip away. Racing will continue from Memphis Motorsports Park. It's short track racing. That's what it looks like. On July 12th, Speed presents Fine Tune from 0 to 360 in 8 days. Watch as actor, model, and car enthusiast Tyson Beckford and award-winning import car designer Lucky J fine-tune a car from bumper to bumper in just 8 days. Fine Tune premieres July 12th, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. They've been tuning on that 14, Adam Alexander.
Yeah, indeed they have. And I kept hearing on the radio communication between crew chief Kevin Cowboy Startling and Rick Crawford, are the gauges okay? How's the voltage? And Rick said the voltage is fine. But the reason he was asking so adamantly is here's what's left of the battery. It was completely destroyed in that incident on track. Rick Crawford just came in. This is the 5th time he's been on pit road under caution. They put the battery in last time around. They're securing it this time. But it's amazing what happened. The battery literally cut in half in the accident on track, guys.
Yeah, and Adam, we actually have that radio communication. Let's listen in to as they were talking about that problem.
I think it's from his tire. Everybody's worried about that line. It's from his tire dragging. I think we need to try probably what it is. It probably made a mark on it. That's about where it happened right back there. Take the left rear off. There's a little bit. Get the battery in it, guys. Get it plugged in. A little bit right there before you get in the pit. Put some lug nuts here, guys. There's a possibility we're going to lap down, but we're going to have to get it done. We'll never finish.
It's amazing that truck was able to keep running with that battery broken, like we saw from Adam's shot there.
This is live. They're on pit road once again.
They've already gone 1 lap down on pit road while they were changing the battery. Now that's the 2nd lap down for the 14 truck.
So the work continues on not only the 14, but also on the racetrack. They're still trying to clear debris around this 3/4 mile racetrack. It's Memphis Motorsports Park. It's short track racing. Race number 12 of the 2007 season continues right after this. Welcome back to the O'Reilly 200. 18 laps are complete. Coming up on lap 19 being complete. Brad Keselowski has led all 19 laps. One caution has taken place, and the 14 of Rick Crawford has gone a couple laps down. Green flag back out. Whoa. Problems on the restart. Ron Hornaday will take over the top spot as Brad Keselowski struggles to get up to speed when the green flag came out.
Yeah, well, he had a little help there by Ron Hornaday. Ron got into the back of the truck. Brad obviously didn't get going as quick as Ron Hornaday wanted him to, so they made a little contact. Now Brad finds himself in a side-by-side battle for second with Skinner.
Preferred line on the inside, but it looks as though Keselowski now has his hands full with that number 9 Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, now he just needs to calm down. Just calm down. He's lost the lead. He still has 180 laps to go here. Don't panic.
Brad Keselowski's dropped back into the third position. It's Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner, Brad Keselowski, 1, 2, 3. Then just behind Keselowski is that 77 South Point Chevrolet of Brendan Gaughan. The 99 of Eric Darnell rounds out our top 5.
Eric Darnell's having a great early run. He finished second this race last year, which was his best career finish till he won this year at Kansas.
Now the top 5 has separated themselves. Bill Lester runs 6. Aaron Fike is 7th. Travis Kvapil 8th. Willie Allen is in the 9th position, and Ryan Matthews in the 10th position. Names that we don't normally say running up front like that.
Yeah, exactly. Rick, let's take a look back at what happened on that restart for Brad Keselowski in the number 9. They run a number of laps under caution. Here he is. He's getting ready to go here. That's the 33 of Ron Hornaday behind him. It looked like he might have spun the tires just a little bit. Ron was on the throttle early. They made a little bit of contact. It turned the 9 sideways. Remember, Ron Hornaday did that to Mark Martin back at California Speedway. It actually turned him around into the infield, cost Mark a chance at the win, end up giving the win to Mike Skinner, who now runs second.
So Hornaday, Skinner running 1 and 2. Brad Keselowski has dropped back to 3rd. And again, that was on the restart that he lost that position. He had led all the laps up to that point. Working his way up through this field, Johnny Benson now runs in 19th. He was involved in that first caution that took place with Rick Crawford.
There's a good battle right there for the 7th position. That's the one of Aaron Fike. That's his onboard camera right there. The Red Horse Racing Toyota. There's the K&N Ford of Travis Kvapil. Looks to the outside. Not quite going to be able to do it this time.
What do you look for, Phil, on a pass? I mean, are you looking for a guy to get loose in front of you, or are you looking for him to not get on the gas as quickly?
You're looking for weakness, whether he's going to get loose, whether he's going to be a little late and get on the gas, and then it's a timing thing. Travis wants to lay back a little bit. If he can get in the throttle a little bit quicker than Aaron Fike, then lay back a little bit. Time that so when he gets in the throttle, he can just pull up right underneath him up off the corner. That's where you do your passing here, up underneath somebody up off the corner.
Bill Lester has dropped back just a bit, but still running in that 6th position. Then it's Aaron Fike and Travis Kvapil. A great battle continuing for 7th.
See a big gap developing in front of that 1 of Aaron Fike, actually in front of the 15 of Bill Lester. So Travis Kvapil is going to feel a sense of urgency right here. He's going to want to try to get by both these trucks and chase down the leaders. Ray.
Hey, Phil, tonight is the 5th race that Ron Hornaday has run here at Memphis, and he has led 4 of those. And as everybody knows, we call Ron Hornaday the master of the restarts. Well, just a moment ago, we listened into his radio about that last start.
But he can't stop the field any slower than we can go. If he wants to be the pace truck, he can be all right.
Understand. Good job. Good start. 2 by 2 behind us.
There's no question about it that everybody knows that if Ron Hornaday and that 33 truck is right behind you, you've got problems.
Well, you got to be on your game. I mean, if Ron Hornaday is behind you.
Okay, let's look at the onboard right here from the number 33 of Ron Hornaday. What Ron was talking about was that Brad brought the field down very, very slow. Remember, Brad has probably never restarted the race leading a Craftsman Truck Series race. So you could hear Ron getting back on and off the throttle, trying to avoid running into the back of Brad. So I would not put any great blame on Ron Hornaday for that incident.
No, and Ron Hornaday also had to realize that any passing that's to be done is to the outside. Well, the 9 truck gave him the outside. I mean, it looked as though Brad was running right in the middle of the racetrack, and so he gave him that outside. Ron tried to go to the outside and caught the back bumper.
Yeah. Travis Kvapil able to make the pass on the one of Aaron Fike. That is a battle for the 7th position. Now Ryan Matthews going to try to take advantage of getting the one up off the bottom of the racetrack. You could already see the brake rotors glowing on that number 1 truck of Aaron Fike.
Hard on the brakes as they enter turns 1 and 3. There you get a look back at the Lumber Liquidators Toyota Tundra. Todd Bodine, he's broke into the top 10. But it's Ron Hornaday that now leads at Memphis Motorsports Park. Can he get a victory here at the racetrack that he also won back in 1998? We'll find out. He's starting from inside the top 5. Ron Hornaday has increased his lead in the O'Reilly 200 to about a half a second over Mike Skinner running in second. Then it's Brad Keselowski, Brendan Gaughan, and Eric Darnell in the top 5.
Travis Kvapil, number 6 truck, is running 6 right now. In the last 2 laps, he has been the fastest truck on the racetrack, so he's on the move.
Another driver on the move is that 36 of Ryan Matthews.
He's doing a great job in that 3rd Bill Davis truck. Been in a handful of starts. Talked to Johnny Benson this morning, and he said really the 36 truck was the best of the 3 Bill Davis trucks during practice yesterday.
You see the separation now between the top 7. Right now running in the 10th position, Todd Bodine. Adam Alexander.
And he's running in the top 10 after dropping back to 11th on the start. The word on this truck, very, very tight. They were not satisfied with the Toyota after final practice yesterday. So I talked to Mike Hillman Jr., the crew chief in the garage this morning. He said, we have changed everything but the driver's seat on this truck in hopes for a good run here tonight. Really tight, the early word for Todd Bodine, despite the fact he's riding in the top 10.
You know, Adam, we talked to Todd Bodine during our qualifying show, and after qualifying, he said his truck was a little bit tight, which really worried him for the race tonight, because this racetrack typically tightens up the later you run, the more rubber you put down. So if Todd is already tight, Mike Hillman Jr. and his guys are going to have to make some serious adjustments to that Toyota.
And the truck will tighten up the longer we have these green flag runs, because the fuel goes out of the rear end of it. But I mean, right now we're on a pretty long green flag run.
Yeah, we are, and you know, there's Todd's actually looking like he may lose another position. David Starr in the number 10 Ford looked to the inside of him briefly, but we seem to always get a long run here at Memphis at some portion during the race, and most of the crew chiefs were talking about the middle portion. We would run maybe 50-60 laps, put tires on, and then they thought they would probably get maybe an 80 lap run or a 90 lap run to put their second set of tires on during the race.
You see that 51 of Eric Almirola, currently in the 13th position, so he's looking to back up a very impressive performance from a week ago in Milwaukee with a good performance here in the Truck Series. Ray Dunlap.
Talk about the 51 there. He just said on the radio, no grip in the center of the corner, Rick. So they're going to try to make air pressure adjustments on that FedEx Chevrolet. And you can see Eric has been using a good bit of brake here tonight. Been in traffic a lot so far. Got a glowing rotors on the front of that 51.
Yeah, Ray, we're seeing glowing rotors from a lot of the trucks as we see the 07 of Tim Sauter trying to have a second good run in a row in that Lester Builder Chevrolet on the inside of the 10 of David Starr. Great battle right there for the 11th position.
Side by side continuing, and Eric Almirola is watching as that goes on just in front of him. One of the things you mentioned was that we've seen a lot of glowing rotors around the racetrack. One that wasn't glowing so much is our leader right now, Ron Hornaday. It looks like he's pretty easy on the brakes.
You can see a good shot of Eric Almirola's rotor right there. You know, out front, you can take it a little bit easier. You can back off, float in the corner a little bit more. When you're running in heavy traffic like these drivers are right here, that's when you use more brake, and that's when you're going to get that brake rotor temperature.
Brake rotor temperature heats up. That heats the tires up. The tire pressure goes up. Now we take a look at the 88. Matt Crafton, he's also got some very red rotors. 60 also of Jack Sprague, two-time winner at this race.
Here the Convoy Toyota number 60. He's got Dennis Setzer right behind him. Dennis Setzer is always so good here. Never finished out of the top 10 in the 8 previous starts here. There's Matt Crafton. Started in the 20th position. Nice little pickup. Gained 6 spots up to the 14th spot.
In short track racing, it's a 3/4 mile racetrack. It's Jack Sprague tries to clip away positions. He's in the 15th spot right now. He's got Matt Crafton just in front of him.
Two-time winner here. 5 times of his 7 starts he's finished in the top 10 here at Memphis.
Very successful on short tracks. Another guy who's had a lot of success on short tracks and won at our most recent short track race was at 75 of Dennis Setzer. He currently runs in the 16th spot.
Yeah, Dennis is also a former winner here at this racetrack. Dennis has run 8 races here. 7 of those races he's finished in the top 5, and the 8th race he was 10th. A great record here at Memphis, and that was last year when he probably had the best truck here. Ended up having a trouble on pit road, ran over another team's stop sign.
We're seeing the leaders now going through traffic. 7 of Jason White going a lap down. The problem with that now for Rick Crawford is he will not receive the free pass because there are a few trucks now that are a lap down as well. Adam Alexander.
And you guys talk about the leaders bearing down on lap traffic. John Quinn, the crew chief for Eric Darnell, who rides fourth, reminded him that the leaders are getting ready to get into lap traffic and told him to stay sharp. Eric started 7th tonight. He's up to 4th, complaining the truck just a bit tight. And this is the same guy that finished 2nd in his first ever race at Memphis 1 year ago, Ray.
I'll tell you, Adam, I would hate to see the budget of Bill Davis Racing for birthday cakes this week. Johnny Benson turned 44 on Wednesday. Mike Skinner turned 50 on Thursday. And Ryan Matthews, the driver of the number 36 truck, will turn 27 tomorrow. So all 3 drivers in the Bill Davis stable having birthdays in the very same week. That's kind of odd. But what a great run tonight for Ryan Matthews. He started 12th and currently up to 7th.
He has really put on an impressive performance, and it's not only been here in the race, it's been all weekend. He was very good in practice, obviously given the right calls to crew chief, and next thing you know, he is running in the top 6 right now. We're actually in the 7th position, just behind Brendan Gaughan in 6th.
Yeah, coming off his best finish of the year last week at Milwaukee, finished in the 14th position, but this driver continues to impress me. Ran a handful of ARCA races last year, was very impressive in those, and Bill Davis tapped him as he looks to the inside of the 77, the South Point Chevrolet, going for the 6th position.
Going to take it away from Brendan Gaughan, so Ryan Matthews clipping away spots. He's moved into 6th. He's trying to reel in Ron Hornaday. Hornaday leads the field at Memphis Motorsports Park. Rick Wren looking for another win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Welcome back to Memphis Motorsports Park. Now out in front of the field, it's Mike Skinner. He was just able to get by Ron Hornaday just 2 laps ago.
Mike Skinner's been, looks like Ron Hornaday has really lost the handle. See right now, Mike Skinner has led a lap in each one of the 12 races to start this season, tying a record set by Jason Leffler. There's a battle for second. Brad Keselowski's on the inside. It looked like the handle just completely went away from Ron Hornaday at an instant.
And so now Brad Keselowski trying to move back up into 2nd. So patience is paying off for Keselowski as he's taken 2nd over again. And Hornaday now dropping back. Eric Darnell looks at maybe a little bit of a weaker truck right now. Adam Alexander, what's going on with our leader?
Not much at all. That's good news. He's been very quiet on the radio, and you guys mentioned the fact that he's now led a lap here at Memphis tonight. That should not be surprising. This is the same truck that Mike won with at Martinsville earlier this year. On that day, he led 246 truck laps. Then they took the truck to Mansfield, where he led 53. 3rd time out this season, and once again, Mike Skinner has the field in tow, Ray.
Well, let's talk about Ron Hornaday. You're right, guys. He has gone backwards a bit. He says he's shoving the nose right in the center, and he's been trying to adjust his brakes a little bit. He's been playing with when to get on the brakes and adjusting the brake bias, which they can do on the dash of these trucks, putting more brake to the rear of his truck in that number 33, but he's gone from the lead back to third.
Taking a look right here, Ron Hornaday trying to stay up with Brad Keselowski as they're working by the 14 of Rick Crawford. Again, you see the damage there. That happened earlier when Johnny Benson and Crawford got into each other and cut the left rear tire of Rick Crawford.
Yeah, it looked like Brad Keselowski was being very, very careful around that Harley-Davidson onboard in Rick Crawford's truck to try to get by him. Now there's Eric Darnell, who's running, Travis Kvapil, who's running in the 5th position. Eric Darnell, the 99, has already got by the 14 of Rick Crawford.
Two Fords running side by side. The Roush Fenway trucks currently running 4th and 5th, Darnell and Kvapil.
I tell you, both of those trucks are awfully quick too. They were several seconds behind our leader probably 15-20 laps ago, and now Eric Darnell's just about 2 seconds behind our leader.
And our leader is Mike Skinner. Again, he just made the pass on Ron Hornaday a few laps back. We take a look at how that pass took place.
You saw Ron talking about shoving the nose. That's right there in the center of the corner. Not able to get back to the throttle. Mike Skinner was able to keep his truck right down on the bottom of the racetrack. Was able to get in the throttle a little bit earlier than Ron Hornaday. Now they're going to carry side by side through turns 3 and 4. Again, Mike Skinner able to get on the throttle just a little earlier and with a little more throttle than does Ron Hornaday.
That's how he took over the top spot, and Keselowski was able to get by Hornaday as well. And so it's Skinner, Keselowski, Hornaday, Darnell, Kvapil, your top 5. Toyota, Chevy, and Ford in the top 5 represented.
Good battle for the 10th position right there. There's Ty Bodine. He's got 10th. The 07 of Tim Sauter had a top 10 finish here in a Busch race back a few years ago, running in the 11th position. He looks to the bottom. We're going to see if he can get able to get up right beside the 30 of Ty Bodine. He is able to get by, get up beside Todd. Now he's got Todd, and make the pass. 2 good runs in a row for Tim Sauter. He had a good run going in Milwaukee, made a green flag pit stop. The caution came out, probably took him out of a top 10 finish, had one going.
There were so many T's in that sentence that you just threw out there.
I got lost, I'll guarantee you that.
Top 10, Todd, Tim. They're all over the place, and we've got a caution back out on the racetrack now.
I don't see anything right now around the racetrack. There's our leader, Mike Skinner. 71 laps into this race. I think we will see all our leaders on pit road during this caution period. We're getting a report from NASCAR that the 09 Joey Clanton made some contact with the wall. Here he is right there, the Zaxby's Ford. You can see some sparks from underneath that Ford.
Second caution of the night has come out. Comes out on lap 72. Again, out in front of the field, it was Mike Skinner who was able to get by Ron Hornaday. Brad Keselowski also making the pass. Now, Phil, are we going to see him come down pit road?
They're coming right now. Pit road is open, and the leaders are on pit road.
So we'll see Skinner lead Keselowski and Hornaday. Your top 3 making their way onto pit road. Let's go to Adam Alexander.
Eric Darnell started this race in 7th. He has worked it up to 4th. For him, a little bit tight. It's going to be 4 tires, fuel, slight chassis adjustment, a little bit of air pressure. Then there's Mike Skinner. Started 3rd, up to the lead. No changes on his Toyota. 2-lap scuff tires. The call from his crew chief, Jeff Hensley. 4 tires and fuel for Skinner. Down to Ray Dunlap.
Ron Hornaday is here in his Camping World Chevrolet. They're going to add air pressure to the left front, and that'll help loosen him up a little bit. Remember, he was tight in the center. Brad Keselowski won the pole today, so they had the #1 pit stall. They're going up on air pressure on both right side tires on his ASE Toyota.
I'll tell you, another truck that had an impressive stop there was a 36 of Ryan Matthews.
Looks like Mike Skinner is going to win the battle off pit road. The 33 Ron Hornaday 2nd, and the 6 of Travis Kvapil 3rd.
Brad Keselowski came off 4th, and Ryan Matthews rounds out our top 5 off pit road. We'll be back with more racing after this. green flag just coming out here at Memphis Motorsports Park for the O'Reilly 200. And this one a little more uneventful, at least at the restart. Now Hornaday looking to the inside of Skinner. Travis Quapple's moved up to the 3rd spot in a race for 4th.
Our 4th place truck of Brad Keselowski got hung in behind some lap trucks. You see him right there behind the 21 of Kevin Wood. And a new leader, Ron Hornaday, goes back to the lead.
Back in the front, and Skinner doesn't like it at all.
Not a bit.
All over the back of the 33 of Hornaday.
And Travis Quapple takes advantage and drives by on the outside.
So now Travis Quapple's moved up to the 2nd spot. Skinner's dropped back to 3rd. Hornaday, Quapple, and Skinner, 1, 2, 3, and then it's Brad Keselowski in 4th. Ryan Matthews rounding out our top 5.
Yeah, that was a pretty aggressive move by Mike Skinner on the backstretch, and I have a feeling that was precipitated by a possible aggressive move by the 33 of Ron Hornaday.
Again, there's some lap trucks mixed in here at the front of the field. Ryan Matthews running on the lead lap. Right behind him, we're riding on board with the Harley-Davidson onboard camera of Rick Crawford. Crawford actually being scored 3 laps down.
See a little bit of debris hanging from the bottom of that 33 truck. That's where the 5 of Mike Skinner got into the back of Ron Hornaday. Let's see if we can take a look back at what precipitated that little action going in turn number 3 and down the backstretch. Here's Ron Hornaday, drives to the inside of Mike Skinner. He makes contact to pull to the inside, and that's what Mike Skinner was mad about.
And he retaliates right back here.
He retaliates.
I didn't appreciate that.
He didn't appreciate that. But watch Travis Quapple. He's watching this go on, and he's just going to drive to the outside to take over the 2nd position. But that's how you let somebody know that you're upset with him.
Yeah.
What NASCAR did with Ted Musgrave, they felt like he crossed the line at Milwaukee last week by what he did. That's how you let somebody know that you didn't appreciate what they did.
Yeah, Skinner didn't spin him. He didn't do anything there. He just let him know. He bumped him in the back and said, hey, I didn't appreciate the way you passed me there. So now let's go race. And right now, Ron Hornaday having the best of that battle. Hornaday back out in front. Travis Quapple. Those two have separated themselves by over a second over Mike Skinner, who's dropped back to 3rd. Keselowski 4th. Ryan Matthews is 5th.
See Ron Hornaday right there. He's finished 4th or higher after he leads a lap. He's already led 46 laps tonight. He's had such a terrific season too. He's 2nd in the points. You know, his season has been a little bit overshadowed by the season of Mike Skinner, who's never been out of the top 10. But Ron Hornaday's worst finish this year has been 11th.
Getting that debris hanging off the back of the 33. Now will NASCAR take a look at that and say, hey, could he get a black flag for that bumper hanging down?
Well, NASCAR will definitely take a look at that, but it looks like it's just a piece of aluminum, so I don't think they're going to feel like that's going to endanger the competitors. So I think they will let him stay on the racetrack with that little piece of debris hanging down.
I guess Travis Quapple right now might be calling onto his radio saying, there's an unbelievable piece of debris about to fall off of this 33.
It looks like a manhole cover.
If it comes off, it'll tear my radiator out. Adam Alexander, what's going on with the 99?
Well, a tough break for them on that pit stop just a handful of laps ago. And they came in running 4th, a very solid race truck, but dropped lug nuts on the rear. If you check your monitor on the replay, so it condones a slow pit stop. You see the front tire changer already around, rear just now getting there. So they go from 4th to 12th on pit road. It's so hard to pass here. Drivers love to pick up spots on pit road. It will be tough for this team to battle back, losing 8 positions on the pit lane.
See, he had a poor pit stop, and they put him way in the back of the pack here. And here's the restart. You see, they really jump up, and the 99 of Eric Darnell has to lock the brakes up. Had to drive to the inside to avoid the accident, so he could have flat spotted his tires a little bit. But he had a truck capable and was running in the top 5, and now he's being shown back in the 13th position.
Yeah, he and Travis Quapple were running nose to tail earlier, and well, you look at where Travis Quapple is right now, running in the 2nd position right on the back bumper of Ron Hornaday. Ray, what's going on with that 77 South Point team?
Well, exact same story down here. Loose lug nuts, and Brendan Gaughan came in running in 6th position and went way deep into the field. He had to come back down pit road. The officials spotted that they didn't have all the lug nuts on, so he had to pit again and restarted towards the back. So a tough night for Brendan Gaughan, where early on tonight he had said everything was fantastic with this truck, but loose lug nuts brought him back to pit road.
So difficulties on pit road have caused a few to drop back, but look at Travis Kvapil all over the back bumper of Ron Hornaday.
It looks like Ron Hornaday's truck is really good on the short runs, but we saw before our most recent pit stop, Ron lose the lead and actually fall back several positions. So we'll see if Rick Wren has been able to make the adjustments to make that truck last a little bit longer. Right now, Travis Kvapil in the 6th truck is all over.
These two trucks have separated themselves now by over 2.5 seconds in front of Mike Skinner. Looks as though they're in their own class right now.
They're in their own zip code right now. They're have a good 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds on Mike Skinner. Brad Keselowski is just behind Mike Skinner. Ryan Matthews holds down the top 5 spot in 5th.
These two drivers have won here at Memphis Motorsports Park. Travis Kvapil won in 2002. Ron Hornaday back in '98. Hornaday should have won the race in 2005. Was out in front of the field. Again, slowed going into that smoke in turn 3 and 4. Brandon Witt came up behind him, got him turned around, and Witt goes on to win that race. And here comes Travis Kvapil looking to the inside of Hornaday.
Yeah, I just started to say, I don't think Ron Hornaday is going to hold this lead much longer, because his truck is going away a little bit, just like it did on that first run. And Travis Kvapil is continuing to get better and better.
K&N Ford up at the front. It's Travis Kvapil leading now from Memphis Motorsports Park. He makes it the 4th different leader at the track.
Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is brought to you by the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman, brought to you in part by Fastenal. We get it right. And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Travis Kvapil out in front of the field. We've completed 100 of the scheduled 200 laps, and so we're just passing the halfway point. And again, it's Travis Kvapil. 4 different leaders out in front of this field tonight. Ron Hornaday, the 9 of Brad Keselowski, the 5 of Mike Skinner, and the 6 of Travis Kvapil have all led laps here. The most led by Ron Hornaday up to this point of 56 laps.
Yeah, Ron Hornaday has fallen almost 2 seconds behind our leader right now, Travis Kvapil. Mike Skinner, 6 seconds behind Travis Kvapil.
Right now, your leader, Travis Kvapil, as we take a look at our race summary. Almost 2 seconds between 1st and 2nd right now. Travis Kvapil has really got that truck on a rail.
He sure has. You know, we talked to him before the race, and he thought he had a pretty good truck, but he wasn't sure. He said a lap tracker, and what a lap tracker is a computer system that keeps track of every lap that every truck runs. He said they look good on the lap tracker compared to the competition. They thought they could be a little bit better, but he's obviously pretty good right now.
Very good. Before the green flag fell tonight, we shined a spotlight on a few different drivers. Ray Dunlap, how is your speed spotlight working?
Well, tonight for Bradley Riethmeyer, he is just way too tight in the center of the corners and not able to roll through like he would like to. Now, we do know for sure that Bradley is going to drive 4 or 5 more races for this team that's based out of Indianapolis. But again, they're just way too tight to roll through the corner. Adam?
It's not been a great night for Willie Allen in his home state of Tennessee after starting 4th and recording his career best qualifying effort in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He is at an ill-handling race truck in the early going. He's dropped from 4th all the way back to 22nd, 103 laps in here tonight at Memphis. Phil?
Adam, Kevin Wood has maintained. He's only 1 lap down right now. He's in the 29th position. Actually just lost a spot to the 7 of Jason White. He's running 30th. He just wanted to try to run all the laps. That was his goal in the Ravenswood and Wine Ford. He wants to run a few more Truck Series races this year. This will okay him to run racetracks up to 1 mile in the Craftsman Truck Series. Started 19th, currently being shown in the 30th position. Rick?
Yeah, we shined the spotlight obviously on our pole sitter. And Brad Keselowski had led 20 laps, which was the most consecutive laps he's ever led in a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. He got bumped back into the second position when Ron Hornaday had a better restart than he did. Fell back another spot to third, and then on that most recent pit stop sequence, he came out in the fourth position, and he's held that position up to this point. So Kvapil leading, Hornaday, Skinner, and Keselowski your top four. Ryan Matthews in the fifth position. Travis Kvapil now a second and a half over Ron Hornaday. That truck is running very well tonight.
On today's Tools of the Trade, I want to show you the new Craftsman 20-gallon shop vac. Now, this thing is extra cool. It's got 4 wheels and casters, goes wherever you want it to. But check this out. They've added a muffler to make this thing extra quiet. It's got big handles so you can pick it up and throw it in the truck, and it's real easy to open the lid. Now, what I really like is the fact that they've got this posi lock on the front, so there's no way that the hose will pull out of the vacuum. Now, the guys, after a rough day of working here, are always trying to clean up their shop area and make it real nice. And I love this attachment that comes with this thing. It's super quiet and goes wherever the dirt is.
Check out this Craftsman Tools of the Trade. Another great programming on Speed on Demand. Caution has come back out here at Memphis Motorsports Park, and that is because the 00 of Ken Butler has had some problems on the backstretch. His truck got turned around. Actually had problems in qualifying earlier today.
Got turned around qualifying and backed in the wall, and you can see he made some pretty hard contact with the front of that Aaron's Dream machine. Let's see if we can take a look back at what happened to the 00. He was right in between the 75 of Dennis Setzer and the 88 of Matt Crafton. I don't know if there was any contact from the 88 of Matt Crafton, but around he went coming off turn 2, made pretty significant contact with the inside wall. Here's another look. Let's see here. Let's see if the 88 of Matt Crafton, he does just nudge him, gets his truck pointed towards the inside wall, and unfortunately Ken Butler was not able to do anything to save that truck. Let's see if we can watch this real time. Watch this coming off turn number 2. Here's the contact.
Hard hit.
Pretty hard hit on the inside wall there. Good to see Ken Butler get out of that truck and walk around.
So the safety crews have gone to work on not only Ken Butler, but getting the 00 off of the racetrack now. We've completed 115 laps, and we're seeing the leaders come back down pit road. Adam Alexander.
Mike Skinner riding in the third position. He said a little tight in 3 and 4. Jeff Hensley, the crew chief, said no changes. The reason why, they're putting on sticker tires. They think that will be able to help the handling. Here comes Mike Skinner. This would be his final pit stop of the night. They're well within their window to go the distance. Skinner, bottom of your screen. 4 tires, fuel, and no changes on his Toyota Tundra. Right side service is smooth. They'll complete the left side service and send him on his way, right?
On a number 6 truck for Travis Kvapil, they're going to raise the track bar about a round and a quarter. They've made that adjustment. They're going for 4 tires here. This is the final pit stop of the night, more than likely. Everybody coming in to get their fuel and tires. Travis Kvapil will get out. We'll have to see about Hornaday. Hornaday made a wedge adjustment on his Camping World Chevrolet, and guys, you can see the battle off pit road.
Yeah, and Hornaday's still sitting on pit road. Now he drops the jack and moves, but in front of him it was Brad Keselowski that was able to get off of pit road in front of that 33 of Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, the 6 of Travis Kvapil was able to win that race off pit road. The 33 of Ron Hornaday second.
So we would expect these to be the final pit stops as they have completed 116 laps. We'll be back with more racing after this. Just back under green flag conditions, Travis Kvapil with another great start. He's jumped out with a good lead over Mike Skinner. Then it's Brad Keselowski in third. Fourth is Ron Hornaday in that 33.
Yeah, I said Ron Hornaday came off pit road. Contact right there between the 9 of Brad Keselowski and the 8 of Blake Bjorklund.
Tell you what, Keselowski has had his share of getting bumped in the back here. Now, Blake Bjorklund running a little bit high coming out of turn 4. Ron Hornaday going by Blake. Blake is being scored a lap down.
There's Jack Sprague right there, the Conway Toyota. He's up in the 5th position. Qualified way back in the 13th spot. Really didn't understand why he had qualified so poorly, but he's back up in the top 5 where he belongs. Has a great run going. Ooh, look at this contact.
Problems there. Todd Line trying to get around the 10 of David Starr, and David Starr having to manipulate that truck around with sheet metal getting bent out of the way. right behind his teammate Rick Crawford, riding along on that Harley Davidson number 14 of Crawford.
There's Eric Darnell, the 99, the Northern Tool and Equipment Ford out of Jack Roush Stable. There's Bill Lester. He's having a pretty good run going right here. He's up in the top 15, being shown in the 13th spot.
Riding along with Ken Schrader in that Fastenal Dodge. He looks up at Kevin Hamlin,
his teammate, driving the other Bobby Hamilton Dodge, and Tim Sauter, the Lester Builders Chevrolet, on the inside of Kevin Hamlin. That's a battle for the 20th position right there.
Continue to race side by side, 2 and 3 wide as they came out of turn 4 there.
Well, the trucks all over the racetrack. Heavy traffic right there. Rick Crawford's on board. There's Peter Shepard and the other Northern Tool and Equipment Ford out of the Jack Roush Stables in number 50. There's Kenny Schrader on the outside trying to drive up beside the 07 of Tim Sauter.
75 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line. 74 remaining in this race.
More than likely, all the leaders have made their final pit stop. That was probably a little earlier than they wanted to make it, but they wanted to take advantage of that caution flag as we see Tim Sauter pull up in front of Ken Schrader just for a moment to get by the lap truck of Rick Crawford. There's Dennis Setzer, Matt Crafton battling right there. That's a battle for the 18th position.
We're seeing the 33 of Hornaday and the 5 of Mike Skinner. We saw tempers flaring earlier. That battle continues, and a little bit further back, Matt Crafton has his hands full with the 4. Kevin Hamlin trying to get by Crafton.
Kevin gave this truck a good ride at Mansfield earlier this year, finished in the top 10. Trying to get by that 88 Matt Crafton. Matt's running 19th right now. A lot of lead lap trucks right there in this battle. There's Tim Sauter, the 07. The 13 of Willie Allen right behind him, and the 18 of Ken Schrader.
Quapple has a almost half-second lead over Brad Keselowski, who's been able to take over the second position from Skinner. We continue with side-by-side racing all over the racetrack.
Yeah, heavy traffic here. Let's make mention of that 16 truck of Chris Fontaine. He runs on the lead lap right now in his second start of the year in that Express Motorsports truck.
These two are going to continue to race side by side all the way around this racetrack. See Tim Sauter now in that 07, throwing the Lester Buildings race truck up into the mix.
We're inside of 70 laps to go right here, and this is not doing these guys any favors right here. You've got the 4 of Kevin Hamlin and the 88 of Matt Crafton running side by side. That is slowing both trucks down, and the trucks in front of them are just driving away.
Out in front of the field, though, it's Travis Quapple, but now he's got a new truck behind him. That's the 9 of Brad Keselowski. Travis Quapple trying to hold him off. Ray Dunlap.
Well, just before that caution, Rick, Travis Quapple was not able to communicate with the team. The team could talk, and he wasn't hearing them. They could hear Travis, but it was kind of a mixed-up deal. But whatever happened, it fixed itself. They've got the radio back. But I do want to talk about the crew chief on this team. Mike Beam has really got this team turned around. They've had top 10 finishes in the last 5 races, and today Mike Beam is playing hurt. He has a case of the shingles, and he has been really hard pressed just to get around the garage, and it has been so hot here in Memphis. So Mike Beam really playing a yeoman's effort tonight, not feeling very well, but hanging in there to root on Travis Quapple, who continues to lead.
Hornaday was able to pass the 5 of Mike Skinner.
Let's see if we can take a look back at how this pass happened for the 3rd position. See, Ron Hornaday just drives right up underneath the 5 of Mike Skinner. Obviously, Rick Bren has worked on that 33 truck. He's made it a little bit better. We know he's been good on the short runs. It looks like now he's being able to pass some trucks later in a run.
There was a lot of room between those 2 trucks there when that pass was made. Not so early on.
No, we saw the 33 of Ron Hornaday give the 5 of Mike Skinner a shot over in 1 and 2, was able to get by him. Mike Skinner didn't appreciate it. Let Ron Hornaday know that he didn't appreciate it. But that was a long time ago. That was at least 50, 75 laps ago.
Exactly. Jack Sprague reeling in Mike Skinner now as Sprague has broken into the top 5. It's Travis Kvapil about a half a second in front of Brad Keselowski. Keselowski started on the pole. Can he win? Well, he's got to get by Kvapil to find victory lane. Let's take a look at tonight's Stay in the Game with Just for Men moment. And you got to take a look at this 14 team after on lap 8. They had problems with that truck, but they didn't give up, Phil.
They sure didn't. They took the valve stem out of the left rear tire, and all the guys jumped in that thing. They actually broke the battery in that truck. They had to change a battery, but they rallied together and kept the truck on the racetrack. There he is right there out in front of the 09 of Joey Clanton on the racetrack.
So Stay in the Game with Just for Men hair color. Rick Crawford. Fastenal fast start. We got to shine the spotlight on the 23 of Johnny Benson. He started this race in the 24th spot, moved into the top 10, now currently running in the 8th position. So Johnny Benson, our Fastenal fast start. Out in front of the field, though, it's Travis Kvapil already up into the slower lap traffic. Brad Keselowski still hovering back there, a half a second behind. The Team ASC Toyota Tundra now back in front of the field, was able to get by that 6 of Travis Kvapil, and so Brad Keselowski back at the point, Phil.
Yeah, here's how he did it. They had some heavy traffic right here. He was able to drive up beside the number 6 of Travis Kvapil. You see the lap truck of Rick Crawford. Doesn't look like there's room, but Rick pulls way over, gives these two trucks room to run side by side, and Brad Keselowski takes over the lead. Now we're inside of 50 laps to go. All the pit work should be done. And this is what the crew thought when Brad Keselowski took the lead right here. Watch him.
They're watching very closely. And yes, our driver's out in front now.
They liked it.
And as soon as Kvapil relinquished the lead to Keselowski, now Brad Keselowski has over a second lead on Travis Kvapil.
You know, it's almost like early in the race when Ron Hornaday's truck seemed like all of a sudden just went away. He lost the lead and was back pedaling. The same thing has happened to Travis Kvapil. He's lost well over a second now to Brad Keselowski in the last 3 or 4 laps.
Can that be a testament to how good this truck is, Phil?
Well, it certainly is, and it's good for our long run, too, and that's what's critical here. We've only got 47 laps to go right now, so we know that they put their last set of tires on, so this is the tires they're going to race, the setup that they're going to race, and right now it looks like the 9 of Brad Keselowski's is the best.
47 laps across the start-finish line, 46 laps to go. That's the distance between first and second. It's the 9 of Brad Keselowski, the 6 of Travis Kvapil running 1 and 2.
You know, I cannot emphasize the fact that this is the biggest night, biggest day of Brad Keselowski's life. This is what he's wanted his whole life. He comes from a racing family. His grandfather used to have race cars. His father raced, his uncle raced, both champions. And here Brad Keselowski has that opportunity to get in this caliber of truck. And is he making the most of it?
Well, I tell you what, Phil, I think even before the checkered flag flies, Brad Keselowski has proven he is a very, very established race car driver in NASCAR. I mean, he has shown what he can do on the racetrack, even if he doesn't find the checkered flag.
Yeah, that's right. And unless he gets some trouble in traffic or something like that, it looks like he's headed towards a possible victory. But you're right. He has impressed enough people. He impressed enough people to give him this opportunity.
Adam Alexander.
And Brad Keselowski trying tonight to do something that Mike Skinner has done 22 times in his career, and that visit victory lane. Skinner's been very quiet on the radio. His crew chief Jeff Hensley said, we're going to be good on the long run, be patient, and reel them in. You can't get them all at one lap. So they're preaching patience in the 5 pit. Mike Skinner, the point leader, currently running 4th. Ray?
Well, Jack Sprague is a 28-time winner in this series, but he had problems in qualifying. Throughout this weekend, I think just about everybody in the garage would say that the 60 was the best truck. But with that poor starting position, he hasn't had time to get the front. But on the radio, he's been asking for a little bit of help from Mike Skinner. Sprague believes that Skinner's holding him up. Right now, he is about a car or truck length behind Mike Skinner, but he's asked a couple of times if they could get a little help from the 5 because Sprague believes that he's got a faster truck than Mike Skinner.
You know, The job Brad Keselowski is doing here. You see Mike Skinner in the 60 of Jack Sprague. These are the all-time leaders in the Craftsman Truck Series on the short track. You see Ron Hornaday, 16 wins. Mike Skinner, 14 wins right there on this screen running fourth. Jack Sprague, 13 wins. He's running in fifth right now. And Dennis Setzer right now is back running in the top 20. And Brad Keselowski has the best truck on the racetrack right now. And he is leading this race with that kind of caliber of talent in this field.
It is closing up, though, now. Brad Keselowski locked into traffic, and contact is made between the 59 and the 16. Chris Fontaine and the 59 of Terry Cook make contact. What a close call there for Brad Keselowski as he had to check up, and he's got Travis Kvapil on his outside now.
Yeah, Travis tried to take advantage and go to the outside. He's got the 16 truck of Chris Fontaine, who's trying to stay on the lead lap. There's a good side-by-side battle now for fourth. Mike Skinner and Jack Sprague.
Skinner and Sprague side-by-side. Two names that we've mentioned as short track race winners numerous times in this series. Out in front on the left side of your screen, it's Brad Keselowski and Travis Kvapil all over his back bumper now as they race for the lead.
Boy, Travis had a great corner that time. He was able to get on the throttle in the center of the corner a lot earlier than Brad was able to, and he closed ground. He did it again that time. Not as much ground as he did on the other end of the racetrack, but Brad is good off the corner.
Phil, what's Brad got to do right now to get by that 16?
He's just got to calm down here and just try to pick his spots. You see the 6 of Travis Kvapil is so much better right now through the center of the corner. You see Brad fighting that thing off the corner. He may have overheated those tires trying to get by some of these lap trucks. He just needs to take his time, try to work his way to the bottom underneath that 16 truck. He doesn't want to give up the bottom of the racetrack and let Travis Kvapil stick his nose there.
Here again is a look at what took place. He was right in the middle of this mix.
The 16 of Chris Fontaine makes contact with a 59 of Terry Cook. The 9 of Brad Keselowski had to get on the brakes extremely hard. There's another shot of it right there. Hopefully he didn't flat spot those tires. I didn't see any smoke off the number 9 of Brad Keselowski, but he does have that 6 of Travis Kvapil all over him.
And the 9 cannot get by that 16 of Chris Fontaine. Here goes Travis Kvapil to the outside. This is a pass for the lead as they go across the start-finish line.
Brad Keselowski leads that lap, but just barely. Travis Kvapil fighting back on the outside. Oh, look at Brendan Gaughan sideways in front of them.
Brendan Gaughan gets sideways again. Brendan Gaughan being scored a lap down right at the end of the lead lap. So he is trying to fight his way for position to stay on the lead lap. And now the two have gone by him, but still Chris Fontaine maintains his position in front of Brad Keselowski.
It looks like the 9 of Brad Keselowski's handle's gone away a little bit, and it looks like the 6 of Travis Kvapil is getting better.
So as this continues to heat up, just like the brake rotors, we are going to continue to follow this story. 1 and 2, Keselowski, Kvapil, who will win the O'Reilly 200? On July 11th, the high-revving, tire-shredding, wheel-standing, two-wheeled action returns for an all-new season. Superbikes premieres July 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, only on Speed. When I mentioned it was going to be heating up about like the brake rotors, it got extremely hot for Brad Keselowski and Travis Kvapil.
Rick, this happened while we were away at commercial break here. You see Travis worked his way to the inside, was able to make the pass on Brad. Brad did the little switchover move like Dale Sr. used to do at Darlington, pulled right back to the inside. They raced side by side here through turns 3 and 4. Brad was so hungry he didn't want to give up this lead. He lost it for an instant and then battled back on the inside and got the lead back from Travis Kvapil.
That crossover move there for Brad Keselowski, able to get back in front of the 6 of Travis Kvapil, but he has not put any distance really between himself and Travis. Travis has been able to stay right behind him. How about the truck he's coming up to now? Dennis Setzer about to go a lap down to Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, never finished out of the top 10 here at this racetrack. Only one time in 8 starts out of the top 5, and here he is about to go a lap down to Brad Keselowski, having the ride of his life.
25 racing to go, and it's another heart stopper for Brad Keselowski as another truck gets loose in front of him.
Well, he might have had a little help.
Yeah,
he might have contributed to that looseness by Dennis Setzer, but he didn't want to go through what he went through with that 16 of Chris Fontaine. He wanted to put him a lap down quickly and get onto this race with Travis Kvapil.
These two continue to battle it out. Behind them, it's Hornaday, Sprague, Skinner, your top 5. Hornaday 4.5 seconds behind our race leader, Brad Keselowski.
Brad Keselowski continues to impress. We talked about a few moments ago how people were impressed no matter what happens from here on out. But for him to battle back like that after Travis was able to get by him and take the lead right back from him was a testament to his tenacity.
And I tell you what, you had mentioned it earlier, his family, he has grown up around racing, and most of the time it's been around short tracks.
Absolutely. His entire family is involved in racing. We talked about it earlier. His grandfather had race cars. His father was an ARCA champion. His uncle was a race winner. And I'm telling you, this kid knows racing inside and out, doesn't he, Ray?
Well, absolutely, Phil, and let's add to that a little bit, because his family, his dad Bob and his mother Kay actually had a Craftsman Truck Series team for a long, long time. They were at the beginning of the inception of this series, and Kay Automotive has won 10 races in this series. 5 with Dennis Setzer, 4 with Terry Cook, and 1 with Bob Keselowski. So if Brad Keselowski was able to go on and win this race tonight, they would be the first ever father and son duo to do that.
And we're going to see if he will be able to hang on and win this race. We're going away for 60 seconds, and we'll be right back. That's just about 2 laps of racing around this racetrack. It's Brad Keselowski looking for his first win ever in the Truck Series. It was 2002 when Travis Kvapil was able to find victory lane at Memphis Motorsports Park. That day, his crew chief, Rick Wren.
Rick is now the crew chief on the 33 of Ron Hornaday, a 2-time winner this year. Here we go again. The 6 of Travis Kvapil. Look to the outside. I'm telling you,
Sideways again. That time it was sideways out of 4. Travis Kvapil all over the back bumper. And he looks again to the back bumper of Brad Keselowski. Let's see if Keselowski can hang on to it this time.
Brad is really, really loose. He's really been fighting the steering wheel up off the corner. He got a little bit loose that time. Travis got into him a little bit. Brad was able to hang on to it.
These two racing so hard out in front of the field. Now they have over a 5-second lead over 3rd place.
It's amazing.
Brad Keselowski's not worried at all about 3rd place. He's worried about that truck that is all over his back bumper.
It's amazing, as hard as they've been racing, to open up a 5-second lead on Ron Hornaday here at Memphis, but they are all over it right now.
Sprague running in the 4th position. He's broke into the top 5. Skinner running in the 5th spot, our points leader coming into this race. Inside of 14 laps of racing to go, and it's still Brad Keselowski and Travis Kvapil running 1 and 2.
I'm telling you, what Brad Keselowski has done this weekend gives thousands and thousands of short track drivers all over the country hope that give me the equipment. Give me the equipment that these guys have. Give me the equipment that Ted Musgrave has or Travis Kvapil has, and I can get it done. And Brad Keselowski is showing that he's able to do that tonight.
And I'm guessing right now the Keselowski family hovering around the TV, cheering him on. Brad Keselowski, actually a car owner in the ARCA Remax series. And you're talking about that whole series, I'm guessing right now, is saying, come on, Brad, you can do it. Do it for us.
Brad Keselowski, you can see him fighting the steering wheel coming off the corners. His truck is extremely loose. They've been out there a long time. They last pitted about 70 laps ago, so they've got a lot of laps on these tires.
A lot of wear as they've been battling for this top spot. Travis Kvapil. Now, the veteran Travis Kvapil, the series champion Travis Kvapil, is he waiting for this young kid who's never won in this series to make a mistake?
Well, I don't think he can wait any longer. We're coming up. Next time around, it'll be 10 laps to go. So he's either going to have to figure out a way to get by him. And he's been right up against his bumper a few times. He had a couple good shots at him. He was actually able to make the pass. And we showed it that Brad was able to get back by him. But I tell you, Travis is going to have to get it done now because you don't want the caution to come out and let everyone cool their tires. Great.
Hey, Phil, let's talk about the recommendations that put Brad Keselowski into this ride for the 9 tonight with Ted Musgrave being suspended. The very first call that Bob Germain got was from Mark Martin. Mark Martin said, you need to give this young kid a chance. He hasn't had good enough equipment. The next call they got was from Todd Bodine. And Todd Bodine said, I'm going to compare him a lot to mine. And he's spinning on the racetrack. The 9 is around contact with the 6.
Travis Kvapil got up behind him. We saw the sheet metal get bent as Kvapil got right up behind the 9, and around goes the 9 of Brad Keselowski. As we were talking his praises.
Yeah, the problem was he stalled the truck. He had enough of a lead that he may have been able to hold on a second, but now a number of the trucks have gotten by him. No matter what happens, he has lost a number of spots. He gets the truck back going right now. He's going to come across, gosh, all the way back in the 11th position. You know, we were talking about how good it would be for him to win this race, and it's not going to happen. But nonetheless, Rick, what a great job by Brad Keselowski. And you can see the damage to the back of that truck. Travis Kvapil was definitely better through the corners right there. He got in the back, it looked like, of the 9 of Brad Keselowski, and around he went.
Such a strong performance by Brad Keselowski, but you can't discount what Travis Kvapil has done tonight either. I mean, a very strong performance for that 6 team, and it was just a matter of the laps were running down.
Yeah, well, I'm going to discount it a little bit because he did get in the back of the 9 and turn him around. So I'm going to discount it a little bit. He obviously has had a great run. Travis is one of the cleanest drivers out there, but he was all over the back of this 9. Let's see if we can take a look back, Rick. You see them going down into turn number 3 right there. Travis' truck so good in the middle of the corner. He was on the throttle so much earlier, and he just made contact, and around Brad went.
Turn him around. Brad keeping on the accelerator, trying to get that thing spun around and go in the right direction, but then all that smoke, probably didn't even know which direction was the right direction after he got turned around here.
Yeah, there you can see the contact right there. There's no question that Travis got in the back of him. There's Travis's crew right there. Now they see him coming out with a lead, but they don't, they're not necessarily seeing how it happened. There's no doubt in my mind that, as you can see the 9 coming down pit road, he may have flat spotted the tires. Again, he's out of contention for the win anyway, Adam.
Well, Phil, he'll be coming down to my end of the pit road, and yes, he did flat spot the tires on that ASE Toyota. Bitter disappointment down here. Brad asked on the radio, could you guys see what happened? Did he just get to me on the bumper? They said, yes, absolutely. Brad says, guys, I am so sorry for letting that happen. Crew Chief Rick Gay said, listen, everybody knew we were here tonight, and they were definitely in position for their best finish of the year. They're going to put tires on this thing and send them back out. But, boy, what a disappointment. A great job tonight of driving by Brad Keselowski. His first time driving for Germain Racing.
I have a feeling that may not be the last time Brad Keselowski drives for Germain Racing, because, on occasion they run a 3rd truck, and I was talking to Mike Hillman Sr. yesterday. He said we still have some more races to run with that 3rd truck, so there's a chance that Brad may get a shot on that. But what a horrible heartbreak for what an incredible weekend for Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, and you see a little bit of the damage in the front of that. That actually happened when he got into the back of the 16 earlier, when the 16 made contact with the 59 of Terry Cook. So he made that damage to the front. Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, let's listen to the radio real quick of what we heard from Brad Keselowski right after that crash.
Mark in the middle of the corner forever. Just rolled on him there. Kid was doing such a good job. Definitely didn't mean to wreck him. Holy cow. Great race.
That's Travis Kvapil right there. That was what he said right after that incident. You can see he said, holy cow, I sure didn't mean to wreck him. He was doing such an incredible job. And Travis Kvapil doesn't race like that.
Right. Yeah, not intentional. I mean, there was no intention of him spinning him there. He just, like you had mentioned, he was so good through the corners. He had such a run on Brad right there. He just didn't want to get out of the gas because that was a perfect opportunity to pass. Green flag comes out. We are back to racing. 5 laps of racing to go. Travis Kvapil out in front of Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, remember, Ron Hornaday is so good on the restarts. Let's see. Travis is able just to drive right away from him through the center of the corner. Jack Sprague is all over the back of Ron Hornaday. These guys have battled years and years and years in this series.
Oh, yes. Travis Kvapil, Ron Hornaday, Jack Sprague all have won here at Memphis Motorsports Park. As a matter of fact, Sprague has won twice at this racetrack.
Ron Hornaday's car owner, Kevin Harvick, won the Camping World race up at Loudon in the Busch Series today.
So a very strong performance for the Kevin Harvick Incorporated team here tonight, as he has put a little distance between himself and Jack Sprague, but the distance has really been separated between first and second. Travis Kvapil has put about 10 truck lengths between himself and second place Ron Hornaday. 3 laps of racing to go for Kvapil.
Yeah, we've got a battle for second, but they are even in the same zip code as our leader right now. Travis Kvapil, he's got just about a half a straightaway on this battle for second.
We were inside of 10 laps to go, so it was a single file restart. All of the lap trucks were toward the rear of the field. And right now, all over the back bumper, Sprague and Hornaday battling for second.
Sprague's got his nose up in there. Hornaday's going to try to come down.
A mile and a half left to race, 2 laps. Jack Sprague looking to the inside of Ron Hornaday. He's going to make the pass. He'll take second away from Hornaday.
Great job by Jack Sprague. Qualified all the way back in the 13th position. Has steadily worked his way towards the front. Meanwhile, Travis Kvapil has a giant lead with 1 lap to go.
The white flag came out for Travis Kvapil. Behind him, a long ways back, is Jack Sprague. Kvapil making his way down the backstretch. It was 2002, the last time Travis Kvapil won at Memphis Motorsports Park. Behind him, a 2-time winner here at this racetrack. Coming out of turn number 4, Kvapil will win his second race at Memphis.
Mike Skinner tries to battle back on the inside to get by Hornaday for third. Does not do it, but yet another top 5 for Mike Skinner. And Aaron Fike with a good run in the top 5 positions.
Ryan Matthews in 6th. Johnny Benson came back in 7th. Todd Bodine with a top 10 finish in 8th. Eric Darnell 9th. And Matt Crafton with a 10th place finish here at Memphis Motorsports Park. 7 wins now for Travis Kvapil on his career, as he has just won the O'Reilly 200 from Memphis Motorsports Park. Ray Dunlap.
Well, let's get a word from crew chief Mike Beam. He just came on the radio and said, awesome job to the team and awesome job to Travis Kvapil. Mike, I know you haven't been feeling too good this weekend, but you got to feel a little better now.
Yeah, Ray, I feel a lot better. You know, I hate that happen right there. You know, Brad and Travis are going to have a good race, but yeah, we really need to win a short track race. We really stink on the short tracks we have been. And, you know, Bobby Hudson and Don Stern, everybody at the shop, you know, and just everybody at the Dunlap now. They built this nice truck. You know, I told him that this thing didn't qualify good, but it raced good, you know, and so it was, like I said, Ray, it was just a good night for us. I hate that happened, but, you know, that's just part of it.
All right, well, go enjoy Victory Lane. That is Mike Beam, and he gets, let me get my notes here real quick as I can look and tell you, he is getting win number 8 for his career.
Win number 8 for his career, 7 for Travis Kvapil. The fireworks begin. There was a few fireworks on the racetrack tonight. Now the fireworks are high up top Memphis Motorsports Park. Our Fast and All Fast finish, Travis Kvapil, Jack Sprague, Hornaday, Skinner, and Aaron Fike with impressive rookie performance coming home in 5th. We'll be back to talk with Travis Kvapil. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series post-race show from Memphis Motorsports Park. Let's go down to Victory Lane and Ray Dunlap.
Well, here comes Travis Kvapil out of his K&N Ford. This team was lollygagging back in 13th and 14th place finishes for a long time, and you guys have got her back in the top 5 each and every week, and now back to Victory Lane. How did you do it?
Man, first things first, I'm a huge Brad Keselowski fan. I talked to him before the season even started. I told him we needed to be in a full-time ride. It's definitely not how I wanted to make that pass. We were just rolling the middle so much better than him. He was really losing grip, but, man, I just feel terrible. I mean, Brad did a great job all weekend. I'm a big fan of his, but like I said, man, everybody on this K&N Ford did an awesome job. We didn't think we were all that great yesterday, and Mike assured me it would race good, and just made the perfect adjustments. You know, we started the race not real good, and after that first stop, it was darn near right on. So I'm really proud of everybody on my Roush Fenway team, and this is good. I won here before. I won before in Michigan, so maybe we need to
That was nice. Thank you, guys. I want to talk about big picture a little bit, Travis, though, because things were in the down there for a little bit, and you guys have turned this thing around. How did that happen?
Well, just more than anything, just time with me working with this team and with the guys, and look at that trophy.
Yeah, about that.
And holy cow, it's heavy. But, you know, big shoes to fill. Mark Martin did a great job with this car, or this truck last year. Everybody at Roush Fenway just supported me. You know, the truck wasn't where I needed to have them beginning of the year, or for my teammate Eric Darnell and the guys. And Kansas was a big turnaround. They changed the bodies, changed the setups, and away we go.
And you got an Elvis trophy. Check that out. Travis Kvapil wins here at Memphis. Last time he won here, they didn't have that trophy here.
And, of course, he talked about, Ray, the fact that he's a big fan of Brad Keselowski's, and he felt terrible about what happened on the racetrack. So, Brad, you were leading, got the nudge, and fell back, finishing 17th. What happened?
You know, I'm not really sure without seeing a replay what happened, but, you know, the end result is we got hit from behind and spun out. But as to whether that was my fault or not, I don't know until I can see that. But, you know, we did all we could do.
Here's the replay, Brad.
Yeah, I was as loose as I could be, and any little nudge I got was just going to send me around. And what are you going to do? I mean, still a great run for the Team ASC, Germain, Toyota Tundra, and hopefully I can get a couple more shots like this and finish the deal off.
So good all weekend, winning the pole and leading late, not able to finish the deal and win this race. How frustrating is that for you, Brad?
Pretty frustrating. You know, you want to say it was a great run, and hopefully it'll lead to other things, but it's pretty hard to look past tonight. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get more opportunities like this.
And a long list of guys came over congratulating Brad on a good run, one of which was Mike Hillman Sr., who gave him a big hug, slapped him on the back, and told him congratulations on a great night.
You know, you can see Brad right there getting out of his truck and wanting to see. Yep, I think that's where he hit me. And I'm telling you, I feel for Brad Keselowski, because I'm sure he wanted to cry there. Because, again, this was the biggest night of his life, and that's where he wanted to be, in victory lane here, where Travis Kvapil is enjoying it. But Travis Kvapil didn't do it intentionally, but unfortunately, Brad Keselowski was the victim.
Memphis Motorsports Park, the king is Travis Kvapil.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is brought to you by the official tools of NASCAR, Craftsman. Brought to you in part by Aaron Sales and Lease Ownership. Nobody beats Aaron's, nobody. And by Ford F-Series, built for bold moves, built Ford tough.
Let's head trackside to Jack Sprague's with Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. You know, Jack Sprague's truck wasn't all that good at the beginning of tonight's race, but they raised the track bar about 1.5 inches, and that thing came to life at the end.
It did. I mean, we started out, I thought I was in big trouble. I was really tight, couldn't turn the truck, but Tony made great calls. The guys had great pit stops for me. I mean, I gained 4 or 5 positions each time. And at the end there, I was 3 to 4 tenths faster than Travis. I was kind of hoping for the O'Reilly 225, but Conway Freight Toyota ran great. We got a new associate sponsor with American Commercial Lines, and just like to thank everybody. Bicycle. I'd like to say hi to my daughter Paige, I love you. Hi to my fiance Amy, I love you, and I'm coming to marry you, baby. Here we go.
And by the way, the wedding is coming up Tuesday. Not very many people get married on Tuesday, but I bet the hall was cheap that day. Now get out of here. We got to go to get it. We're going to Adam. Get over there.
All right. Thank you, Ray. And Aaron Fike with a career best finish tonight, 5th. A tough place for first-timers, but you managed to get around here pretty good. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. All the guys at Red Horse Racing did a good job. Toyota Tundra was pretty fast all night, and, you know, happy with the good top 5 finish. We battled for it, and I just want to say hi to my dad and my mom back home. I just want to say a special thanks to my dad. He's the reason I'm here, and love him to death.
Ray Bestis, Rookie of the Year leader, finishes 5th tonight. Aaron Fike, a career best at Memphis.
The fireworks have wrapped up here, but the celebration continuing for Travis Kvapil in victory lane. He's won twice at Memphis Motorsports Park. Welcome back to Memphis. We take a look at our Ford point standings through 12 events. And again, this is unofficial. Mike Skinner with a 103-point lead over Hornaday. Another good night for Hornaday, but not a bad night for Skinner, so not a lot of points gained there. But you look at the bottom of this list, and that was the big story today. Not only the fact that Ted Musgrave was not here and that he dropped those positions, but the driver who drove that truck. What an unbelievable performance.
It sure was, and you have to feel for Brad Keselowski, and I know how he feels. There's Travis Kvapil right there. He bumped Brad Keselowski unintentionally, but nonetheless, it took Brad Keselowski out of potential win. Travis Kvapil's truck was better at the end of the race than Brad Keselowski, and he may have got by him anyway, but we'll never know that. Brad Keselowski, though, no matter what happens, the fact he finished 16th, notwithstanding, this was the biggest weekend of his entire life, and this is the beginning of the rest of his life, because the performance he put on this weekend will get him somewhere. It will get him a ride, either in this series or the Busch Series, and he will be in top-line equipment from this point on. Whenever everything shakes out, he's going to have a great ride in NASCAR.
We take another look at it. This was with such a few remaining laps to go, inside of 10 to go. We were on lap 191. When they were coming out of turn number 4, Travis Kvapil got into the back of Brad Keselowski, spun him around. Keselowski comes home in the 16th spot. Next up, it's the Built Ford Tough 225 from Kentucky Speedway. We're back at the mile-and-a-half racetrack, and that's Saturday, July 14th, and it is always an amazing race at that track.
It sure is. And don't get me wrong, Travis Kvapil is not a villain here. No. Travis Kvapil is a former champion, a clean race car driver. He said, I'm a big Brad Keselowski fan. I really hated that it happened the way it did. But what a great night for Brad Keselowski, a great night for the fans here in Memphis, and cannot wait till our next race a couple weeks from now.
Exactly. And it was Bobby Hamilton Day, not only here at Memphis Motorsports Park, but all across the state of Tennessee. And we want to say thanks to BHR. They've been so gracious with their times throughout the years, and obviously Bobby Hamilton was the biggest reason for that. So thank you to him for all they've done for speed. It was an emotional day for our pole sitter, Brad Keselowski. He won the pole. He was the dominant truck, but at the end of the race, it was a bump that sent him all the way back to 16th. Travis Kvapil is your winner from Memphis Motorsports Park. There have been 8 different winners in the 12 races this year. Travis Kvapil has 2 wins on the 2007 season, and now he's got the Elvis Trophy.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.